Talked about when Susan's giggling about being on TV, and David looked like he lost his choice. Her behavior. Yeah, guys, you can see that there's. I've been auditing some of the healthcare, you know, uh, organizations and so forth, and small businesses and so forth, and services, and other services. So. That's what I meant. I meant, the healthcare, organizations, agencies, and other services, and so forth. They're all services, healthcare services. The agencies and the organizations and the small businesses of relation, medical and healthcare. But this is what I wanted you guys to know. I'm trying to figure out. Which again is that center of attention, the importance. Yeah. So I found out that folks in the affiliated with federal work and so forth, or who have encountered consistently, or who have worked with federal agents and officers and folk, other professionals, federal government professionals and so forth, they have invested in fraudulent activity, trying to steal Social Security, accounts and so forth, trying to steal funds from Social Security accounts and using their parents to, as quote unquote informants of the federal government to replicate identities, or to have multiple accounts or multiple identities and so forth, purported temporary emergency identities for federal work, to steal Social Security income. And we literally caught George Clooney, the actor, who's been out of work for a while. He got caught. As part of some sort of a conspiracy, prostitution ring, fraudulent, activity having to do with Social Security and so forth, and SSI and this and this and that, and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, we did detect. We spoke with his mother, and his mother explained how they do stuff, and she explained that the surveillance cameras in some of these houses, the healthcare service, service of houses, some of the houses, independent living houses and so forth, to look in on individuals, to find jobs for fired police officers who refuse to acknowledge that they committed any crimes. So they continue doing semi-police work, contracting with police departments and so forth. And by sitting in front of cameras all day long, looking at patients and saying that they were violent, or saying that some of the and the white folks in there, or the white women in there, are just spies, or just actors or actresses and so forth. And that's how they got away with a lot of crime. But they got a lot of crimes, but they honestly got caught. And I'm not saying that celebrities or George Clooney in any sort of way is criminal-minded by nature or predisposition. Certainly, why would I think that? I wouldn't think something like that. But I'm telling you guys, what is real is real. I've been a federal auditor, and I've audited federal agents and fired, fired federal employees, former federal employees and associates. And in this particular situation, I can tell you for a fact that this is the white woman who's sitting on this couch right now. That's George Clooney's biological mother, and she did confess to the Central Intelligence Agency and INTERPOL that his son was part of some sort of a prostitution ring, some sort of Social Security fraudulent activity, and also a heist that they covered up with the movie, the movie series Oceans and so forth. I'm pretty sure of it. So I'm pretty sure of this, that she's not really schizophrenic, or if she is, she's not misremembering that, because other family members have confessed to it, and we have signed documents and so forth. And we are pretty sure that George Clooney literally signed up to have, murdered one of his stunt or clone-like, I guess you guys call them stunt men and women, stunt folk, stunt men and women, and so forth. But he signed up to murder one of them because he really got to the point of believing that this particular individual was, taking away money from his account, or possibly taking away jobs from him. I'm pretty sure that's what he got to the point of doing. But he got caught with guns and knives and everything, and literally searching the internet and speaking with undercover police officers, looking for the identity and address of that particular individual, who looks very much like him and even sounds like him. And he literally hired folks to assist him in murdering that individual. Okay, and that's unlawful no matter how you look at it, and it's quite egregious no matter how you look at it. So What I'm saying about having audited these individuals and the federal agents who got them to the point of thinking that was okay, and having fired them and having detected that they continued doing federal government kind of work or federal government like work, which replicated procedures just to argue that they falsely fired themselves to go undercover and this and this and that. No, they are caught, and these individuals, they're going to move to Canada very soon. In all honesty, they're going to move to Canada, meaning the country, Canada itself, of 10 provinces. They're going to go to Canada, and they're not going to come back from Canada or anywhere else. They're going to be stuck in Canada for the rest of their lives. They're being kicked out of the country as a deal with the Canadian government so that they don't have to spend the rest of their lives in prison or having been misguided by protocols which apparently were falsely transcribed and certified as being real, and they really thought that it was the job of federal employees and governments to punish in secret what cannot be punished on news or in the public courts and so forth. They really bought into crazy stuff that literally supported their white supremacists or their xenophobic, meaning their anti-immigrant sentiments and belief system and so forth. And now I'm not just they keep saying, well, he must be a real agent. That was when I was in high school, high school and college for the most part. At this particular point, I do manage the Central Intelligence Agency and INTERPOL. And as a partnership, I really do manage these two agencies. And I just wanted folks to know that I earned the money that I have saved, and I did so as a federal auditor who was the lead music producer in the hip-hop and American popular music sectors and so forth, industries and so forth. In all honesty, I've hid my identity, my official identity from in doing so, but at the same time I did, and I did maintain the codified messaging, not having to do with any violence whatsoever, but the codified messaging or the coded messaging, not even codified messaging, but it's codified in some of the INTERPOL and Central Intelligence Agency records, but the coded messaging or expression demonstrating that I am literally who I say I am. I was the boy genius who did all of who became the lead music producer here in the United States of America when it comes to American popular music and when it comes to hip hop. All right, I want you guys to know that I literally made hundreds of millions of dollars for the music labels. And listen, stop. I literally made hundreds of millions of dollars for the music labels, and I only kept what is minimum, $15 million. I overpaid on tax just to make sure that you guys know that I'm not some sort of crazy person, and I allowed the foundations to help as many people as possible via charitable activism and so forth. Not regarding my $15 million, my $15 million that I do have saved in my private bank account, as I have detailed earlier. Okay, so that's and I saved it lawfully, and I paid my tax off lawfully, and the returns that I got, and the refunds that I got, demonstrated that I overpaid, and that I don't owe any sort of tax, property tax, income tax, any sort of tax whatsoever. The state and federal records provide that, and the employment, the work that I did in Canada allowed me to save my money in a Canadian bank initially, and where I was born in the Commonwealth of Dominica allowed me to transfer that money into a bank in that particular country that I created lawfully, just to make sure that I was safe in moving to Miami first, and then bringing everything over back to my American bank account, one of my American bank accounts, and so forth. I just have to make sure that everything is copacetic, that I'm safe for the most part. But in all honesty, I just had to make sure that I'm very, very safe at all times. I'm not the kind of person who's going to show off whatsoever. I'm not the kind of person who's going to buy $1 million houses and so forth. I'm just not that kind of person. I do know how to save. I do know how to be frugal. Even though I'm going to clearly look upper middle class, I do have a nice house in Coral Gables, already purchased by the Central Intelligence Agency as compensation, officials documented compensation from the Central Intelligence Agency and so forth. I have my car. I actually have two cars, but I'm just going to talk about one car, and I'm going to drive down to Coral Gables early next year in my car that I do have in Orlando, Florida. And I need you guys to understand that I've worked very hard I've been very humble and diligent and disciplined, and there's no reason to believe that I've ever lied about anything that I've said consistently, no matter what my undercover assignment required. Okay?